Hi there, I'm Drutter. It's January the 8th, 2016. This is drutterance number 7, and a drutterance is a short, unedited, unscripted, and unplanned video that doesn't cost me anything and doesn't take much time, and I can get it uploaded to you within about an hour or so of my time. This one is in regards to the Vancouver housing market, but specifically I want to talk about free markets in general. And it's something that I'm not trained to talk about, so if you only like to hear stuff from people who have a degree in economics or whatever, then you won't get that here. But I have run businesses, and I have run businesses successfully, and I've been involved in markets, especially free markets, as much as I can. I try to stay on the free market side of things for decades now, I guess I can say. Been in business for myself and done business online in the local community as well. So I understand free markets. I have invested in real estate. I did very well at one point in my life in real estate. That was it was easy to do so at the time because the market was not free, but I'll get into that another time, I guess. So I'm putting up on the screen here while I'm talking an article that got me ranting about this the other day, so looking at it again today probably will get me ranting about the free market again. But anyway, I'll start reading it off to you. Vancouver Mayor Gregor Robertson, that's the guy on the right in the picture there, is calling on the federal and provincial governments. Federal government's the guy on the left there, that would be Justin Trudeau, and he's calling on the federal and provincial governments to take urgent action to cool the region's runaway. Okay, I don't need to go any further. You can't cool a market. You can't change a market's prices with regulations or with government at all. Well, you can in the short term, but that just creates bubbles and problems in the free market. It makes the market a regulated market, which is the opposite of a free market. And why do we need a free market anyway? What's the point? What's the draw to a free market? If you're asking that question, then you haven't experienced it. You haven't seen it in action. You don't know what it does, and that's okay. What the free market does is it sets prices for everything in the world, everything that we need. And we do need prices. We need accurate prices. The free market will get us price discovery, as they call it, because it takes into account every single possible transaction and every transaction that's happening in the world at once. And no computer, no person, no company, no bank can take all of those transactions and potential transactions into account at the same time. That's the power of the free market. It takes everything into account, and it comes up with the correct answer for the price of things. Why do we need to know the price of things? Obviously, if we were to have commerce, if we were to have any kind of trade, we need to know how much something is worth in relation to each other. And humans have done that since the beginning of time, almost since we had the concept of trade or barter or ownership. We determined how valuable things were, essentially based on their scarcity and their usefulness, which is what gives something value to a human. And we then began trading them. Oh, well, those are worth about 3 of those. Okay, so there was a conversion factor there. That's trade, that's a market. And it's a part of human nature to value things and to come up with a conversion rate between different things in our lives. We need to. We need eggs. We need gold. We need rope. We need clothing. We need water. We need all these things, and we come up with ways of finding out their value in relation to each other. It's the forces of supply and demand which create the free market itself. And really all you need to do is step away from price setting or from trying to control supply of things and controlling the price and controlling the even demand. We try and put controls on demand for things. We try and convince people to want more or less of things. That's not a free market either. So we're always working against the free market, and we're always working against our own prosperity, I think. Because the free market, what it does, and I've seen this in many different markets, precious metals for example, the local cannabis market even is an interesting market to get into, and I can talk about that another time too. That is a more free market than many markets around because it's less regulated. And now of course the government is trying to come in and regulate it. But what a free market does is it drives the price of things down. It drives it down. It drives it down to the lowest price that can get to and still come to market and still be a transaction that's viable for the buyer and the seller. Because you need buyers and sellers in a market, of course, on both sides. So the free market determines prices. It sets them as low as it can. It increases quality. It increases selection. It sounds like magic, but it's not. This is just what happens when we do not regulate a market, when we allow it to be free. And so, like I said, it is a source of our prosperity. And we have people like Gregor Robertson, who is the mayor of Vancouver, trying to set the price or change the price of the housing market here in Vancouver because there's a bubble. But why is there a bubble? They don't ask that question. Why is the price so high? It's because Chinese money is flooding in. Why is Chinese money flooding in? Because of regulations that you guys put into effect on the free market. It's not a free market. And that's why there's a bubble. If you would just allow the free market to work, the price of houses in Vancouver would reach an equilibrium, and it probably would be lower than it is right now. But because of banking regulations allowing large amounts of money specifically from China to come into the Vancouver area, laws, banking regulations, housing market regulations, all these things are against the free market and are driving down selection, driving up wait times, driving up the price. And really, the free market is something that a free person, the free people require. And a controlled market is something that a fascist system and a fascist government require. Which direction are we going? I think we're going away from free markets. That's why I'm so passionate about it, because I see it as a source of our prosperity and a source of personal freedom as well. And I'm going to leave it there because this is going to go forever if I keep going. The article's not what I'm talking about here, really. Yes, there's a housing market problem in Vancouver. The market is overpriced. No one who lives here can afford to live here. People are having to move out to the rural areas of BC if they want to own or even rent a place here. Rent is about $1,200 a month for a small 2-bedroom place without laundry. And that's not even in a decent neighborhood. That's just the cheapest you can find in the Vancouver area is about $1,200 Canadian. Yeah, it's tough. So it's a problem, and I think it's a problem that the free market is not being allowed to exist even, really. We talk about it as though it is, and we say capitalism and free markets are to blame for the problems, but I don't think so. Especially not the free market. The free market is not the only thing that capitalism brings to the table. Capitalism's more than that. And the free market can be employed by many different economic models. The free market is the basis of a functioning economic model, and one that functions for the people and sets prices low and quality high. Thanks for listening, and talk to you guys soon.